So is that like the video or that one? Both are? Oh, righto. So which one are you supposed to look at? None. What keeps me motivated is debt. No, only joking. What keeps me motivated is
Yeah, just conquer Australia. Yeah. Just keep them coming.
Just have a look.
If you've done everything right, well, that's about all you can ask for.
farming, you also need animals to ground you and to make you realise life's hard, I suppose. Because it can be really good when it's good, but ag can also be really bad when it's bad. G'day, I'm Dan Bingham and this is our business, Bingham Agriculture. Yes, I left school in 1988 and at that time in Australia, especially this area, farming was pretty bad. There wasn't a lot of money in sheep, and so we started turning all this area into cropping. I learned how to shear sheep and I was bending down shearing sheep and probably realised this isn't going to make enough money to put the kids through grammar, so I thought we better go cropping. Yeah, so we're probably fifth generation farmers, and our parents, my parents and my wife's parents were really good at cropping and sheep. Yeah, I met her when she was 16 and I was 18, and we met and yeah, fell in love and have been together ever since. Oh, she probably holds her cards close, like she comes from a very good farming background, probably a bit conservative, but always right. So if she holds them up, there's usually a reason for that. So she doesn't say much, but whatever she says is always right. I told my father I wanted to be a cropping man, and he said, well, you need a chainline tractor to do that, which is an Australian design tractor, which has got a GM motor in it. And so we went and bought one of those up in a cropping area called the Mallee in Victoria, and bought that for $3,000, bought it back. Me and my wife done it up a bit, and then we went cropping with that. And I just drove it day and night. I went around to all my neighbours and asked if I could have a paddock to share, farm or lease, and 2 people said yes. Didn't quite know what I was doing, started cropping, and we made our first crop was our first header deposit. And so I took the money from the crop and bought a header. Yeah, so this is the first tractor we bought. It's a chainline tractor. It's got no back in the cab, so I wore 3 pairs of pants driving it. and took the exhaust off because it sounds good, being a GM motor, and into it. I probably put 5,000 or 6,000 hours on it in 2 or 3 years. And then I bought an Inter tractor. It blew up twice in no time, so I thought, no, this is no good. So then we bought a John Deere 5020, and we put 10,000 hours on that in the next 3 years. And from the 5020, then we went to an 8450 John Deere, which was our first articulated tractor after that. I've only ever sold one tractor in my life, and I think, I don't know, we've got probably 100 tractors around, I think, of different sorts and sizes. But a lot of them are vintage. We have everything in the shed. We look after everything. We really appreciate machinery. We collect old vintage John Deere headers, and we get them out for our old harvest day. And my staff are just amazed at how they do the same thing. Like you put the crop in the front, the grain goes into the grain tank, and all the rubbish goes out the back. And so our brand new headers today are exactly the same, they're just bigger. No, they've just got a different set of problems. No, they're all user friendly. I suppose technology now, companies are trying to confuse things. And so all electronics on them now are making them a bit unusable and to no avail. We got up to around 30, depending on the day. I had to buy and sell a couple to keep things going, but I was supposed to run 20. My wife said have no more than 20, but this year we got a bit excited and got up to 30 because Cameron kept booking up work.
Right, before we go any further, we'll have to go over the lingo.
Yeah.
So a header is a combine.
Yep.
A front is a head, or
Yep.
header.
Yep.
And a swather is a windrower.
A windrower is a swather.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Right, talk to me here. Why are you lifting these rows like this instead of going in and direct cutting it?
The reason we're doing this is it brings our crop in evenly and we get a lot less losses picking it up like this. So direct heading it, you get a lot of front loss. So this just gets it in earlier and yeah, we sort of capture the market, I suppose. Yeah, we can make more money by getting it done earlier. Like as soon as a lot of grain starts going into town, we start losing money, I suppose. So yeah, we try and, I suppose the aim of the game around here is make as much money as you can as quick as possible. So well, this is why we do it.
Well then, how does that work then that there's less losses? Because surely you're going out with that front and she's bringing it all in the middle. Is she not knocking heads off the top of the canola?
Nah, because when we're windrowing it when it's really green, it's all still rubbery.
Okay.
And it just doesn't fall out of it. Like the windrower, as long as you windrow it at the right time, we won't lose anything out of the heads, out of any of the pods.
When would this have been windrowed then?
This was windrowed 12 days ago, so just under 2 weeks.
Okay. So the crop's still green then when you're actually killing it off and letting it lie then?
Yeah, so we let it lie, dry out, get down to moisture, whereas people who direct head, you've sort of got to spray it out, like crop top it, and then it takes a lot longer to become ready. It works down here because our canola is quite heavy and thick. Like we also pull a roller behind the windrower when we're windrowing our canola, which pushes these windrows into the stubble. And if it does get really windy, we don't get any losses. We minimise our losses out of the windrows. Whereas if you're direct heading and you get a really windy day, the plants will be shaking and all the pods crack open, and you can lose a lot of canola from the wind shaking the plants.
Well, tell me a bit about yourself then. Like, to the untrained ear, you would think that's an Australian accent, but it's actually not. I don't know if that's insulting to you or not.
No, I've been here long enough for it to not be insulting. Originally a Kiwi. Come from Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, from a family farm. Grew up with my dad was a contractor my whole life, and sort of only flew over here for 3 months to do a cotton harvest in Moree, and just never left. So this will be my 14th year in Australia. I don't know, they call it the land of opportunities, so yeah, it really is.
Oh, you see it that way too then?
Yeah, there's just so much to do over here and different places to go, and you get to travel a bloody big country, and you get to meet a lot of good people, meet a lot of good farmers.
So you come over as a driver to start with, or did you come in straight away on a management role?
No, I came over here as a driver. I don't know, I just love driving machinery. I suppose getting brought up as a kid, sitting in the passenger seat of John Deere tractors my whole life. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And then, yeah, just wanted to go and see it bigger, I suppose, and everything in Aussie. Yeah, it's a lot bigger than New Zealand, so I guess the scale of things probably was the attraction for me to come over here. And obviously cotton, can't grow that in New Zealand, so that's what really brought me over here. I wanted to see something that you can't even do in New Zealand at all. But yeah, sort of lasted in the cotton game for 3 years, and now, yeah, I've been with Bingham's for, coming up 11, this will be 11 years now. So honestly, my job consists of my phone, I suppose, just organising. I've got, 4 or 5 team leaders under me that are, really good. Got some really good blokes, and they've sort of got their teams under them that look after their group of headers each. So basically organising them, talking to clients, seeing whose crop's going to be ready next, and yeah, making sure machines are where they need to be on time. I suppose that's key to it all. Like, as a business, we're very proud of our name and reliability, I suppose. If we tell a farmer that we're going to do it, we do it, and we'll do anything to make that happen, and I suppose keep our reputation intact. And probably the biggest one is forward thinking. Like, I got to know what's going to happen in 2 months and what we need to do it. Yeah, like I'm already sort of looking forward into tillage season, even though we're still harvesting now down home. I have to be looking forward for where my deep rippers going, speed tillers, bed formers, and then even looking forward into sowing as well, which is still 4 months away, 5 months away. Making sure we've got work booked up, just making sure all of our machines are going to be busy, I suppose. So yeah, it's a big part of it, just making sure I sort of pride myself on trying to be, you've got to be 10 steps ahead of everything.
What series of harvester was running whenever you first started, and what are you running now?
So when I started, we had 50 series, 60 and 70 series STSs, and then we brought the first S680s the year after I started with Dan, so we brought 3 of them. They were big machines back then. We're running 6 X9s, so I'm actually in one of our brand new ones this season now. What are we up to now? 15, 16 S series. And then we've still got one 9870 that I don't think we'll ever sell. We've still got one 9750 that we haven't used yet this season, but it's more of we just like having a bit of history in the shed, I suppose. We've got to remember where we come from, and I suppose the building blocks of the business.
That seems like the older stuff, like whenever you look at that chaser there, is that not one of the first tractors?
Yeah, that's his very first brand new tractor, an old 9300. It's nearing on 21,000 hours on it now. Yeah, you could still pull it straight out of the showroom floor. Like, it's still a beautiful old tractor. Yeah, they're just reliable. Like, tractors, they're all 2 diffs, set of wheels, a motor and a chassis. Like, they haven't changed. There's just more technology in them, really. So those ones do, and it's good to get young people into them and realise where we come from and how the business was built. It wasn't built on brand new tractors. It was built on old gear getting the job done. So.
So my favourite tractor would be my 9300. I bought it new. It's our first articulated new tractor that we bought, and I think it's up to 21,000 hours now. We like to look after machinery here. We wear it out. We don't wreck it, and so I think it'll do 30 or 40,000 hours. We'll just keep on, and it's never had a motor rebuild. And it's never really had anything go wrong with it. I love farming. And I love contracting. I love growing crop, really. But farming, you also need animals to ground you and to make you realise life's hard, I suppose. Sorry, sheep farmers out there, but sheep and cattle make it hard. And when you should be having a day off, that's when you got to look after them. But you can't have a farm without animals because the kids don't learn about responsibility and. Animals just ground you. Our land is our asset, and our asset grows, and so that's what gives us wealth. Our contracting is our cash flow and our day job, and so they both go hand in hand pretty well together, but they both have to stay at the same size and rate to keep growing together. And on top of that, you need some diversity in land, so that's where the animals and stock come in. So when I first left school, I thought I was going to be a merino sheep farmer in Australia. I had the R.M. Williams boots on and we were into it. And then all of a sudden, everyone ran out of, no one wanted merino wool anymore. And so I thought, what am I going to do now? I nearly gave up on the sheep, and we couldn't make any money out of merinos, so we went and bought some Border Leicester rams and put over the merinos and made first cross ewes. And the idea was to sell them in the market, and we sold them for 2 years in a row. The third year we come around and they were worth nothing, so I kept them. And then one of my daughters, she was my third daughter, she was 12 at the time. We're driving around the ute and she said, "Oh, these sheep are a lot better than merinos, Dad. They're not trying to die all the time." So I just thought from that point onwards, well, I'll start breeding first cross ewes and having fat lambs, and that's worked. Now she's really interested and runs 3,000 of them for us, and we actually make some money out of fat lambs, and the merinos are just about gone. There's a few left, but not many. Yeah, we've certainly learnt by mistakes. In saying that, I've always been one to be fixing problems. Like, you always got to fix problems along the way and then make it work better. So I'm never happy to have things the same. I'm always like, although this business looks perfect, I always want it to be better. So I always wonder how can we do that better, and how can we do that better? And so I'm always looking for solutions. So something mightn't be broken, but I still want to make it look better. One of the biggest challenges I would have found would be learning how to manage staff. And I mean that in a good way, because I love a challenge and I love to make it work, and I think we've made it work. And yeah, that's the elusive one. Like, anyone can go and buy something, but it's a matter of getting people to follow you how you would do it and then make that work. That's a challenge, but it's a good one that I'm very happy with and love to do. We have a lot of young people work for us, and young people got a lot of energy, and they bring the energy to the business. They also keep me young. We have a lot of young ladies in our business. They've got a point to prove in agriculture. If they're there, they've got a point to prove, and they're very good at that, and they're very good at working. We employ on culture, not skill. Yeah, we like to take good people on, young or old, that are nice people, because we have nice customers. We present our nice customers with nice staff, and then the whole system works well together.
I did 8 years of operating from when I was 12, and then went away for a couple of years working around, and went to uni, and then came back a couple of years ago. And yeah, so 8 years operating, and then 3 or 4 years just working the business.
And I started driving chase bin when I was 13, and then got on a header when I was 15, which is 2 years on a chaser bin, 5 years on a header, and then I worked full-time last year and then went to uni this year and then back for harvest.
Both Mum's family and Dad's family are farms, and then yeah, Pop kind of taught Dad, and then Dad kind of taught us, and yeah, just kind of.
I feel like also because it's like all you know, like growing up, you kind of just get used to it, and then yeah, as you like learn more, you fall in love with it more, I think.
What's your favourite rules?
Geez, I don't know. What are the options?
Dinner run? Nah, mine's probably just header driving, I'd say. That's my favourite.
Mine would be header driving too, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or chaser binning's pretty fun, but
We've got 2 sisters that love the livestock, but we're more machinery.
sheep annoy me.
Yeah. Hate sheep. Yeah. It is good fun. My role's probably more based around like kind of running a crew, and kind of doing like client relations and stuff. And I don't know, I like doing that because I love yapping to people and kind of doing a bit of that client facing kind of stuff, and yeah, that. But then operating's still pretty good fun too, so a bit of everything really.
I don't really know what my role is, kind of just machinery operator, keep people happy, have a chat to everyone every day. That's about it really. Last year I did a bit of like mechanics in the shed, but yeah, more just driving stuff and helping Dad out.
Tessa's role in the paddock's probably kind of like a senior operator, so then she kind of like in the paddock will be kind of like running where logistics are moving in the paddock, and then also keeping track of truckloads and like yeah, so probably like we kind of have like our operators that have done 1 or 2 seasons, and then we always have like a kind of experienced operator.
Trainee.
Yeah. Runs it, make sure the paddock runs smoothly, and everyone knows where to go?
Well, I'm still kind of like young, exploring. Still at uni, but I definitely want to go off and get some experience and learn about other industries probably first, and then come back. I'm not sure what aspect of the business I enjoy most yet, but I'll work it out one day, see where I fit in. Yeah.
And I'm kind of based in the north now, so I moved up to Agronomy at the start of this year. So I'll kind of be more involved in. So half of the business operates, or half of the contracting business operates up north doing harvest, and then half is down here. So then I'll kind of be a bit more based in the north and kind of probably help grow the northern presence, I guess, and then be based up there, but then still pop down here and do a bit down here and come say hey, and then still want to be involved in the business as much as I can, because it's Dad's built a pretty good business for us to kind of be a part of. I think it's really positive. Like there's a lot of like technology and cool stuff happening, and then because there's cool stuff happening, a lot of young people are like getting involved, and like it's kind of, even when I finished school like nearly 10 years ago, it kind of was told to you like, oh, don't go into ag, like kind of, don't do it. And then now it's kind of, it's kind of changing, like people kind of encourage it, and there's a lot of new and exciting things happening, so it's kind of seen as more of a career, and it's kind of encouraged now in schools, which is good. And then family farms are growing, and everyone's excited to come back to the family farms, like all young people, and I think it's a pretty positive outlook. Australian ag is a really good place for women to be, I think, and I think it's just kind of getting better and better. So, So first day on a header was, had just turned 12, and Dad like got in and like showed me the button, was like, this one turns your separator on, front on. And then he's like, as we're driving along in the run, he just like opens the door and just like climbs down the ladder, and he's like, see ya. And we're like, I didn't even know how to like empty the thing. Like I kind of got to the end, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just teach myself. And then that was just kind of the way obviously we teach people a bit better now, but that was kind of Dad's method of teaching, was just kind of like, anyway, see ya.
He did that to me on a motorbike too, but it didn't end quite so well.
But I reckon some of the best memories are probably like, I don't know, probably at the pub afterwards.
No, you know.
Oh, sorry, professional.
I think it's also just like in the mornings, like we have all the girls and everyone on the crew just like, just helping each other out and spending time together. That's good. When you get out of your cab at the end of the day and it's like dinner time, that's good. Having a chat,
We try and get everyone out for dinner time, because you obviously spend like so long in the cab by yourself. We try to get everyone to kind of have dinner together, and obviously like being in a family business with 5 daughters, you kind of think it's the norm, but I think there's a lot of it.
I think it's quite normalised here because there is so many of us. Like you don't really even notice that it's the chicks. Like sometimes you go, like you'd see it in other companies and it would be like the one girl in the crew, whereas because there's so many of us here, it's kind of just normal. We counted this other day, me and Sam, it was like 18 or something, this harvest, like, fair few.
15 or 18 or 20, not sure, but there's a few of us. We'd probably make up like 30 or 40% of the workforce. I don't think as long as Dad's alive, I don't think it'll ever stop growing, because sometimes he'll be sitting there, he's like, we should have 100 headers. You go.
And then sometimes he comes home and says, we shouldn't have any headers. So you just never know what you're going to get, really. Just depends.
I think it's kind of like the way the business has grown, is it's kind of grown with our clients. And so then I think as long as our clients keep growing and the clients are happy, we'll kind of just keep naturally growing with them, however that happens, I guess.
Well, are you the biggest harvesting contractors in the world?
Oh,
You're pretty big, like you're up there. From a contracting point of view.
Yeah, I don't know if we are or we aren't. We probably don't like to boast about it too much. We are what we are, and we just enjoy it. So I guess it's just the love of it. We've got a passion for farming and contracting, and I suppose this is what happens when everyone here loves it so much. The business just keeps growing and keeps getting better and better.
Well, how many headers are you running in total?
Yeah, so this season we probably hit a new record. We had, so it was 31 or 32 machines working up north this year. That included 5 subbies that come in and helped us out as well. But our fleet is sort of that 26, 27 mark at the moment. Like we ended up buying another couple of machines during the season, just due to how the season played out and a bit of pressure from crops coming in early in places that it shouldn't have. But like I said before, we protect our reputation, I guess, and we have to.
You were telling me the other day, and this is going to sound silly, but from an S series to an X series, in your words, is only 200,000.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money. But why are you looking at it as only 200,000?
For us as a contractor, I suppose we can get a lot more done with an X compared to an S with just one person. And an X9, we're sort of doing, I don't know, anywhere between 1.6 to 1.8, what an S series can do, just with an extra 200,000. So sort of mad not to. Like it all just makes sense. And probably the biggest drama we're having at the moment is trying to slow them down. We've got a few new 60-foot Macdon fronts this year. So yeah, bigger fronts, slow them down, and we sort of found the perfect combination so far. So yeah, it is, 200,000 is still a lot of money, but in the scale of things, buying X's is definitely the future for the business. I don't know if we'll ever have a complete fleet of them. Their series will still always have their place in the business. We do have a few smaller clients down here, and they are the backbone of the business. That's where Dan started, and we need to look after them too, and some of them will never handle an X9, so we've got to have a good variation of machines to keep everyone happy.
Why do some of the smaller farmers not like the bigger combine? Because surely tight yards isn't a problem over here. And like a big combine going in itself would get the crop lifted a whole lot quicker. Why would they not want that?
Yeah, just probably their paddock sizes and probably capabilities with trucks, like getting tons out of the paddock can be a bit of a problem with some of our smaller clients. Logistically, it just doesn't work for them. They'd much rather just have a smaller machine in their paddock and chip away and probably be a bit more comfortable and with a bit less pressure. So, and we don't want to add pressure to their life. Like, that's not what we're about. So we try and cater for everyone's needs, I guess. Just trying to keep them happy.
So this is one of our latest Macdon fronts. We've got 4 of these now. It's 18 metres wide, and it's been harvesting up in New South Wales. It's harvested 8,000 hectares already, and it harvests about 20 hectares an hour, I'd say. 20 to 25 hectares an hour it does. On the front of an X9 header, probably harvesting about 80 tonne an hour. And my first header and front was half the cost of this front alone, not to mention the comb trailer and the header on the front. So now headers are in Australia now headers are 1.6, 1.8 million dollars. My first whole header in front was $125,000. No, our first front that we bought was half this size. It was 30 foot. My wife Jill and our baby Soph at the time, she escorted me to Queensland across the Echuca Bridge. I told her to go and hold the trucks up, and she was a skinny little 20-year-old at the time, and she never forgave me because all the big truckies abused her for holding the bridge up. And the bridge is very long, and it took me like 10 minutes to get over the bridge on this header, and yeah, all the truck drivers weren't very happy. But we made it to Queensland. It took us 5 days to drive to Queensland on the header. And we drove all the way up there, didn't find much work anyway, and then drove it back to nearly Victoria. Some farmers told me that they had some work for me, but then it didn't work out. And it's taken a long time to get good customers. But now I've got really good customers. They look after me greatly, and we look after them, and it's all about the customers and staff. It's been very hard over the years to build up customers, but now we've got some really good ones and really good people to work for. We don't have time to work for people who don't appreciate the young people that we take to their place. So for me, it's always been about the family, and it wouldn't worry me if, like, we never intended to be this scale. We've only grown like this because of good people have wanted us to do more and more work, and I don't have the ability to say no, so I just keep saying yes, and then we keep doing it. So we've never let scale let us wreck things. Just a very basic set of beliefs, like just we always keep our machines in the shed. Like if it's not in the shed every night, there's got to be a good reason. We really appreciate our machinery and how well it goes for us and how it treats us, so we treat it well back. It comes from starting with nothing and having nothing, and so I always wanted to have something better, so now we've got better stuff. We really look after it. And then the people that work for me, they really learn over the years how to look after stuff.
Well, Tim, I hear you're one of Bingham's longest serving employees.
Yep.
How long have you been with Bingham's then?
It started with Dan when I was 17. So 43 now.
What did the business look like then?
Oh, when I first started, there was sort of Dan's old man, Rob, who I worked for a bit. He had a header and it sort of ran up near Swan Hill. And there was, and Dan, I think we hired a few headers and he owned four or five. And then, yeah, he was cropping probably, I don't know, 500-600 acres of his own, just locally here at Mingo. And then, yeah, went over to America when I was 21, and then when I come back, he asked if I would work full-time, so started full-time here when I was 21. And, yeah, any opportunity, yeah, Dan didn't care, just took it with both hands, lease, share farm, buy, whatever worked.
What is your role now then?
When I sort of started, it was all to do with headers. We didn't crop a lot. So with the header side of things, there was Dan's main man, Camo, another bloke that's got a family farm, looked after, I think we might have had 10 or 12 headers. And we sort of, Camo was the main man and I just sort of helped him. 2010, I reckon, had a daughter. So then Dan sort of helped me out with not going away as much. So sort of only was in the header game for 10 years. And then he purchased a fair bit of, like a bit of land in that time, and we were sort of crop. Then we went up to cropping sort of around 8,000 acres. Yeah, then Dan sort of said to come back, whether I'd be interested in sort of helping out just on the farm. And I love the farm more than the contracting, like growing the crops. And yeah, main role now is probably looking after the buying, the selling of fertiliser, looking over the crops. Yeah, try and get around them once a week and yeah, make sure everything's all on point, just all the data and all the stuff around it. Yeah, me and Sam and Soph and Dan jumps in there every now and again and make sure he's happy with what we're doing and yeah, sort of do all the forward planning. Got to, yeah, with the agronomist.
Well, then is that a real big change in what you've seen since you started? Because the crop tonnage that you can produce off a field is the difference is crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, years ago, like with like 4 tonne to the hectare was enough to grow. That sort of paid all the bills and kept everyone happy. And then yeah, the last few years, it's things have turned around and it's if you're not growing like 5-6 tonne crops, you're not even up there into the profit side of things. You're all relying on like land values going up and all that to be making $1, and it's only on paper. But
and what are some of the things that you need to be doing right to make sure you get that crop?
Like timing down is everything. If you're not sowing on the right dates, you're not harvesting when it's ready. Like lucky on the farm with the machinery that we've got. With like having the contracting business, we're up at the top end of our machinery, like our air seeders, spreaders, sprayers. With the contracting harvest business, we've got what headers we need available on what day we need them, and yeah, you could leave a crop for a couple of weeks after it's ready, but you might lose half of it with weather by the time you get to it.
Well, how important is selling at the right time?
Another keen interest of mine, like, is buying the like the fertiliser chemical and talking to a lot of people. Sort of over the years, I've met a lot of people to be around, like buying, and I'm always talking just where the prices are at and sort of got a rough idea where we need to be to be making money.
Yeah.
Well, there's no point selling it for less than you can grow it for. Yeah, Dan sort of leaves that up to me a bit, and I just sort of tell him what I'm doing, and if he doesn't renege too much, I'll just go and do it and make it all works.
You find with the contracting business then you can maybe hold off a bit longer on selling grain?
Yeah, you sell it at the right time. Yeah, sometimes with employing so many people, yeah, all that's part of it. But you can, contracting keeps cash flow going, and yeah, you can make the right decisions at the right time. Like we sold some canola, which was real, as it turns out, it was really good selling during the year. We only grow sort of red wheat down here, which we sort of seem to get the yields, like a lot higher yields. Yeah, but the markets probably aren't there for export. It's more just going to poultry and dairy farmers.
Yeah.
That's sort of, the quality of the wheat. So it's not high, not real high protein, but it's sort of acceptable for that side of it.
And what's it like being working here for so long then?
Yeah, Dan, family farm, family people. You get to meet the owner every day.
Yeah.
And then, being brought up, Dan's got 5 daughters, and like at the moment, my daughter, she works here. She's on one of the X9s over the road, harvesting canola at the minute. She's just sort of hung around me because it was an environment for girls in agriculture here. It sort of worked well.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it?
When I first started, it wasn't really much. There wasn't a lot of girls around that were keen on it, 1 or 2 here, but I don't know, now it's probably 30 or 40% girls, and they're more than just as capable as the blokes. Some of them might be able to lift heavy things, but they got a brain and everything works.
Figure it out,
Yeah.
You're on the old windrower and your daughter's driving the X9 now.
Yeah, yep. I still never forget when she was probably only 15, and she'd been driving a header for a couple of years, and I took her up to, I told my wife that she was getting on the bus to go to school, but she packed her bag the night before, and we headed off up to Moree, and we got in a header like 1,500k away, and got in a header, and then she started leaning over me, pushing buttons because I didn't know how to drive it, and then I felt a bit old and underdone then, so now we're just back on the windrower. That's about all. Do a bit of windrowing, a bit of spraying, but they enjoy that, so if they're happy, everyone's happy.
That make you feel proud in a way?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yep. And I think it's the same with Dan as well, like with his kids, like having them following in what he's doing or trying to achieve, and then me being in the same boat. Like my daughter's sort of grown up with Dan's middle one, Tess, same age, so they've been out there mucking around for years.
Well, what's some of the more satisfying moments in your job then? What do you enjoy? What makes you keep doing this job then?
I really don't know the answer, but satisfying, just being outside. Love going down to Melbourne to watch the football or something like that, but can't wait to get out of the joint. Like, it's just different. Like where we live out on the farm there now, like the satisfying parts, like seeing my young bloke ride his motorbike down to the creek and go fishing. Like it's, just a lifestyle thing, I suppose.
Well, how much more do you think this business can grow?
Well, I thought 5 years ago with what we had going on was enough, and I think it's probably doubled since then. I don't know whether Jill's so much, but Dan's appetite for risk, he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
If you can provide a service to do with agriculture, he'll just get into it. Like, that's from where he started. Like, he was still doing risky stuff 20 years ago, and it's paid off to get to here, and
no risk, no reward.
Yeah, that's right. I think he'll just keep working on that, and if opportunity's there, and he's got 5 daughters that are chasing behind him, so I'm sure they're not going to just stop it just because.
So how many managers as such are there?
Yeah, a few years ago we probably had a bit more of I suppose whether it's called a restructure or what, but we had a lot of staff were doing a lot of hours, and it just wasn't working. Like, they were getting tired, and then once they got tired, they didn't really want to be here, and so we sort of had to not pay them the right amount of money to keep them happy, and then there was team leaders involved, so each sort of cluster or each group has someone that looks after like their welfare. So you got to have people need to know that someone's looking out for them now. So the line-up of whether they're managers, team leaders, it's just people that are working their way up through the business and are capable to look after staff. So as far as how many there are, I'm not sure, but that was put in place just more that everyone's got someone that they can count on. Yeah, because he doesn't mind employing young people either. Like, yeah, anyone. I think there's people working here anywhere from 15 to 45 or whatever. So, yep, everyone needs to know they're looked after and their mum and dad know that they're in a safe environment, I suppose you'd say. A lot of managers might seem, it seems a bit overcapitalised, but that's just the way that he runs. He wants to know that everyone's looked after.
Well, by the end of your season, how many hectares are you hoping to have harvested?
Hoping to be up around 250, 300,000 hectares for the season. It's been a very fortunate season with Mother Nature, which helps us out a lot as a business. But looking back on last year, we're the complete opposite. Rained all the time, crops down here got frosted, lack of moisture, or we got too wet during the middle of the growing season, which put a lot of stress on. So yeah, it's pretty hit and miss over here. You just never know what you're in for next.
Is controlled traffic a big thing down here?
It's a growing thing. It's not, definitely, I wouldn't say it's big yet. We're on our farm ourselves, we're using it now. We sort of just started that a few years ago. But then a lot of people still, I guess, don't believe in it down here, don't believe in the results from it with compaction issues. But technology develops, and as farming systems develop, I think it'll become more and more of a trend, like up north where we harvest in Queensland and New South Wales. It's just controlled traffic or nothing. So,
from a contract manager's point of view, like you're travelling from here, like thousands of k's north, you're bound to see the different effects of controlled traffic.
Yep.
Do you believe in it, or do you think is it a farce?
Personally, I believe in it. We've experienced some wet seasons at certain jobs, and if they didn't have controlled traffic, we wouldn't have been able to harvest their paddocks. Like, there's just that much compaction in the wheel tracks that they were the only place we could put machines. And just not disturbing your soil outside the controlled traffic lines we're getting so good at farming up there now that they're just making more and more money off less rainfall, which is, that's the way it should be. We have to. The pressures of society and the price of grain, everything's just, the margins are getting tighter and tighter. So we have to grow more with less, which is putting the pressure on agriculture in Australia in general at the moment. But
well, another thing that we don't see very often is, and not in a disrespectful way, but a high population of Australian workers too. Normally we come over here and it's heavy on the English or Irish or even the Kiwis, but yous are all homebred, bar yourself obviously.
Yeah, we've got a few Kiwis in the mix here. It's not far to, Australia and New Zealand aren't far to travel, and no visas needed, so
But you don't really seek employment outside of Australia?
No, we haven't needed to, I suppose. I think as the business grows in the future we will. But our harvest season works out perfectly with university holidays, school holidays, and people just be able to get a break from their normal job, I guess, and come and do harvest. Well, even if it's just a northern harvest or a southern harvest, they just want to come and experience, and I suppose it's a lot of quick money for them, and they can sort of go back to their normal jobs afterwards. So.
Wait, is this not classed as a normal job, no?
For some people, no. For a lot of people, it's not normal, just the hours that gets worked, and you don't clock on at a certain time and clock off around here. We've got to do what we have to when we have to, depending on the weather. Whereas a lot of normal jobs in society, it's walk into an office building and sit down for 8 hours. And
well, going back to the S versus X conversation, what are the main differences between the S and X?
The biggest difference is the X's are a twin rotor machine, whereas the S's are a single rotor. Engine horsepower, you're probably going from, S's are somewhere in the 500s, these are in the 600s. And everything's bigger on the X. They've changed a lot of designs in the machine too, so they've gone from a lot of chains on the S's to more belts on the X. Just the big difference is the throughput. They've still, even the first X's that we brought sort of 3 or 4 years ago, haven't had a lot of dramas with them at all. Like, they've sort of done very well with designing these X's and nailing the twin rotor system in, I suppose. Like, it's a credit to John Deere there. They've done exceptionally well with these machines.
An extra 15 or 20% of a price from your S series to your X, and you can do an extra 50 to 100% of the workload.
Yeah, I just don't get it with John Deere, why they've done that or why the pricing's structured like that. I think they're really trying not to sell S series, I think.
Well, don't say too much before you change the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, I don't understand it, to be honest. I just can't get my head around it with them sometimes, but I don't know, we love these X's, and yeah, they're the perfect machine for us, really. Yeah, this is one of our brand new ones this year, this machine. So it's got all the new Gen 5 displays, camera system on it. Once we're in the standing serials, it NDVI maps the last 3 months, and then the cameras are scanning the crop in front of it when you're harvesting, and it keeps the machine 100% full all day. So it takes out that little bit of error. Even the best operators aren't perfect. Like, you go to look at your phone for a minute, and all of a sudden you're not driving the machine at capacity. So that just takes that element out of machinery. And
well, a minute's a long time to be looking at a phone, to be fair, if you're driving.
it is, yeah. Some of them are doing big hours in these machines, and focusing for that long can be a bit of a challenge. So it just takes that bit of element of guesswork out of the machines, I guess. And I don't know, the John Deere system with Ops Center, I can sort of jump on my phone and see exactly what's going on this monitor in front of me now. And yeah, John Deere got the tech side of things absolutely nailed. Like, they're just pretty superior over anyone at the moment. So
How are your moisture meters in the header compared to the mill?
these ones are bang on. Like, the trucks will be going into town. What's the reading now? 5.6. That's what our trucks will be going through town at.
Okay.
We've got them pretty well dialed in. Like, when we start canola, we sort of get them matched up to what they're going into town at. It's just so if we're going to do a new paddock, we know we're not going to get a fright when the first truck goes in.
Yep.
And we get rejected out of town. So no, they're very good machines. Even the yield monitors are like, everything's pretty
Everything's
spot on.
like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can trust them a lot, these new machines. And it's just I guess the autonomy in them now. Like, this machine's sitting there just changing all of its settings by itself as we're going.
Oh, really? So you're not playing with your sieves or anything like that there? It
No,
does it all
there's
itself?
the bottom one's changing itself right now because we were coming up a hill then.
Right.
It knew what to do. It knew it.
So how does that work? Does that fit to read the sample coming into the bin, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there's actually a grain camera here. It's scanning the crop as it's coming through and highlighting any foreign materials.
Yep.
So that's just little pieces of pod that's coming through, and it knows, like, I've set a percentage in the screen here and told it not to go above that, or to go, like, yeah, and just it's managing its grain loss and foreign material together, and then it's just adjusting its settings accordingly. And it just does that all day, so it's one less thing for operator to focus on.
So this thing is really, it's idiot-proof. Like, you come in, you hit your AB line, you start your P2, and you push the stick forward, like.
Yeah, basically it'll
That's
deal with itself. Once you've got the parameters in for your losses and foreign material, it'll deal with it all itself. So yeah, even the other day I jumped in one for a bit, and I just hit and said I was harvesting canola, went into the run, and it just changed all of its settings itself and analysed everything, and it was perfect.
That is crazy.
Yeah, no, the technology in these things now is just, it's unbelievable what they're doing with them.
Combines are a ferocious monster that all they want to do is break down all the time, even when they're new or old. So you've got to give yourself half a chance by having new ones. And air seeders and tillage machinery, the technology is at the point of where they hit the dirt. So you've got to have new technology there. But tractors are really only like a motor on wheels with a cabin. So we have to have some part of our business that cuts us a bit of slack and doesn't have to make all the money. If we treat them properly, sometimes do them up a bit, treat them properly, they run well for us, and we can run them up to 20,000 hours. I have a real attachment issue with tractors. My belief is we buy good tractors, we wear them down, not wear them out, but wear them down, and then we'll put them in the shed beside all the other ones we've worn down and out, and we're going to have a collection of really old tractors up to really new ones that are worn out, and it's going to be an awesome collection. We've already got that, and we're going to keep building that. I guess all our tractors we buy second hand. When you walk up to a machine, straight away you can tell whether you want to own it or not. You can tell if it's been looked after or not. And so we yeah, we like to buy stuff that you can tell has been looked after. What keeps me motivated is debt. No, only joking. What keeps me motivated is I've never been to work for a day in my life. This is just great fun, and I don't want it to stop, and it just keeps growing naturally. I have all these great staff that want to do something, and I have all these great customers that want stuff done, and I love to grow the best crop I can and beat all my neighbours and everyone else at it, and just making everything work. Like, it's a real buzz just to make everything that you touch as good as it can be and work properly. The next generation I've got 5 daughters, next generation coming through are really good. Most of them are interested in farming in some way, much to my wife's disgust. It's probably the son-in-laws I've got to watch out for. Are you listening, you young blokes? No, they're all right too. I've got some good son-in-laws poking around too. So.
One of them's a New Holland man.
Yeah, one of them's a New Holland man. It's like my staff. I cannot undo 20 years of bad parenting, so that's their worry. Yeah. So my kids in our business. Sometimes in farming you wouldn't wish this upon your worst enemy to be in agriculture, so I feel as though I need to arm them with the best information to survive as possible. So I spend all the time that I can trying to make them as resilient as possible, and I think we're winning there, because it can be really good when it's good, but ag can also be really bad when it's bad. So when I left school, agriculture was classed as bad, and you know, you must be mad to go and be involved, and I've spent a lot of time turning that around and proving that it's not. And that's why when young people come to work for me, I make sure it's a good environment to work in and they have a good time, because I'm trying to prove that agriculture is a good spot to be. Yeah, agriculture's really has got a good future. Like, everyone needs to be fed. It's one of the last things that people miss out on is food, and so we're in there with a good chance to still be profitable in the future, I reckon. Yeah, well, I didn't really know what my dream was, but this is pretty good, I suppose. And to have our family in the business is good as well. That's partly to do with just the stock. No, it's a good, yeah. Like, every day's a good day. It's not work, it's fun.